Hello, it's December 2021, and I'm briefly going to touch up on something that I've talked about in previous videos as well as in posts and comments. And there's a lot of people, this is relating to current worldwide events, who think that they have a right to enter a business. And there's going to be a little segue here with, for example, employees of a business. Now, a lot of people are talking about things not being law, and they forget that there's something, or maybe they don't know, there's something called the force of law. Now, I've also expressed a lot that peripheral established laws are being used to enforce whatever they want. Now, when it comes to, for example, a business or even an employer, what a lot of people don't realize is insurance. Now, an employer or a business may be under the gun, not by a governing body, like a government, but their insurance might be impacted. Now, there's private insurance, and then there's government insurance, say, for example, like workers' compensation, and remedies of an employee or a customer may not be available, which would put the business or employer on the hook. So a lot of times businesses may impose something that a lot of people think that isn't just, not right, etc. And I'm not disagreeing, but if they're not covered with their insurance, they don't want to be held like the business personally liable, or even, for example, the owner of a business or employees. And that's something that I'm seeing a lot of people are failing to understand, except when I tell them, or as I said, perhaps people don't even know, they haven't thought about it. And say what you will about insurance companies, whether you agree with them or not is not the point. The point is, there's a lot more going on here than just a business, and the business owner, for example, may completely disagree with whatever is being imposed that has the force of law, or perhaps even a suggestion. But insurance, and that's just one example. As a hypothetical, maybe a poor example could be, imagine a customer entering their premises. They slip and fall. I'm not promoting slip and fall claims or the ambulance chasers that go after these kind of claims. They say they slip and fall and they injure themselves for real by complete accident. Well, what if their insurance company, or whether it be private or government or whatever, won't cover them? What if they need medical attention and any health services that might come to that location will say, no, this person hasn't gone along with whatever's being imposed? These are things that people really need to think about. And a lot of these types of things, like with insurance, are like behind the scenes. They're the man behind the curtain, taking that from the Wizard of Oz. People don't know that there's things going on. So I just want to throw that out there. And I'm going to reiterate that for a business, for a customer of a business to use their services or products, there's something called the invitation to treat, as well as, for example, condition of entry. These are established. They're solid. From an employee perspective, there's a condition of employment and an example, health and safety. Whether real or perceived, it doesn't matter. The point is, those are two examples right there as an employee. And either you comply or you don't. And there's conditions for both being a customer or an employee that have long established laws and precedents. And I've also said many times that there are peripheral laws that are being used to enforce whatever, whether it be right or wrong, that's not the point. And take, for example, If a business asks you to leave, you leave, and you leave quietly. You leave quietly as one, not to draw attention to yourself and then say or do something that could be used against you, whether it be socially, through a social justice mindset hive, or even legally. And you leave. Now, if you refuse to leave, well, now you're trespassing. And that is an established law. Okay? And if things can very quickly escalate to, for example, assault, if even there's a perceived resistance to receiving a trespass, and things can escalate from there. If, say, for example, the police show up, now you could have resisting, and the list just goes on. And it doesn't matter how it all started. What matters is these peripheral laws that are being used to enforce whatever. And that's what you're going to be dealing with if you, for example, refuse to leave a business. I'm not saying I agree with it, nor am I saying anything. I'm just simply stating the facts as they are. So I just wanted to give you something to think about. And I know there's a lot of people who are videotaping themselves. Sometimes these people go into a situation knowing it will cause an issue and thinking that they're right. And that's no different, that virtue signaling is no different than, say, people who are going along with the narratives, virtue signaling, the same thing. Both are wrong. But, you know, and I get people are reaching out trying to give support, resistance, but I've talked about all this in other videos, so please do check out those videos. So before you find yourself in unnecessary hardships and troubles, stop and think, is it worth it? And some might say, well, that's my sacrifice. So you haven't accomplished anything. If you're going to sacrifice something, like a peaceful life, then make sure it has some benefit to it. And by no means am I stating or implying to go along with the official narratives and what's being imposed. Nor am I really saying to go against it. I'm not really saying either. I'm just simply stating the facts as they are. Anyway, take what you will from this. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share.